Could a single, massive volcanic eruption thousands of miles away create one of the most famous monsters in human literature? In April 1815, Mount Tambora in distant Indonesia erupted with terrifying, apocalyptic force. It was officially the most powerful volcanic eruption in recorded human history, sending a colossal, dark cloud of ash and sulfur deep into the global atmosphere. This thick dust layer blocked the sunlight and completely disrupted weather patterns across the planet for over a year. As a direct result, the year 1816 became known in Europe and North America as the infamous Year Without a Summer. Temperatures dropped dramatically, winter frosts returned in July, crops failed completely, and widespread famine began. It was against this cold, dark, and almost apocalyptic global backdrop that our amazing literary story began. In the summer of 1816, a group of young, highly brilliant, and rebellious English writers decided to escape their problems and spend a holiday in Switzerland. Among them was the 18-year-old Mary Wollstonecraft Godwin, her brilliant lover and future husband, the romantic poet Percy Bysshe Shelley, and her energetic stepsister Claire Clairmont. They rented a small, cozy house near the shores of beautiful Lake Geneva. Right nearby, at the magnificent and historic Villa Diodati, lived the world-famous, wealthy, and scandalous poet Lord Byron, along with his young personal physician, John Polidori. They all expected a bright, beautiful summer full of sunshine in the Swiss Alps, but unpredictable nature had completely different plans for them. The gorgeous local scenery was soon hidden by absolute darkness. Instead of sunny days and pleasant walks by the water, the guests experienced endless, gloomy rain, thick fog, and violent lightning storms. The weather was so incredibly terrible that the entire group was completely confined indoors at Villa Diodati for many days. To pass the long, boring evenings, they began reading aloud a book of old German ghost stories translated into French. The dark, terrifying atmosphere outside the windows matched the spooky tales inside the room perfectly. One dramatic evening, as lightning flashed across the lake, Lord Byron looked at his friends and made a historic challenge that changed world literature forever. He loudly proposed that every single person in the room should try to write their own terrifying ghost story to see who could scare the others most. This exciting challenge immediately sparked the heavy imagination of the young writers. Lord Byron quickly wrote a short, mysterious fragment about a vampire, which later inspired John Polidori to write The Vampire, the very first romantic vampire story in modern history. Percy Shelley focused mostly on his complex poetry, while Mary struggled deeply for several days to find a truly perfect, scary idea. She wanted to create a story that would speak directly to the mysterious, subconscious fears of our nature and awaken thrilling horror in the reader. Every single night she lay awake in her dark bed, listening to the relentless, heavy rain outside and thinking about the mysteries of life, death, and the dangerous, hidden limits of human scientific progress. One night, after listening to a deep, intense conversation between Percy and Byron about the nature of life and the recent experiments with electricity by Luigi Galvani, Mary had a vivid, terrifying waking nightmare. In the pitch darkness of her bedroom, she saw a pale student of unhallowed arts kneeling beside the giant thing he had put together from old body parts. She saw the hideous phantom of a man stretched out, and then, through the work of some powerful electrical engine, show sudden signs of life and stir with an uneasy, half-vital motion. She opened her eyes in total terror and realized she had finally found her masterpiece. The very next morning, Mary happily began writing the tragic and dark tale of Victor Frankenstein and his monster. If the bright summer sun had been shining normally in 1816, the young group would have spent all their days boating on Lake Geneva and walking in the Green Mountains. Mary Shelley might never have been trapped inside a dark room, listening to scary ghost stories and dreaming of industrial monsters. The thick volcanic ash of Mount Tambora directly shaped the dark, tense, and anxious atmosphere of her Gothic masterpiece. A terrible climate disaster in faraway Indonesia unexpectedly birthed a world-famous classic of modern science fiction. Today, the story of Frankenstein remains a powerful, timeless reminder of how wild nature, terrible weather, and human imagination can beautifully connect to create a legendary work of art.